Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. It is Wednesday night breaking news time, and we've got quotes from Ruud Van Nistelrooy, the legend himself. We've got quotes from Andre Onana ahead of the game against PAOK, whatever you want to call them. We've got quotes from that press conference for Thursday night, and we're going to read them out shortly and get into what's been discussed in terms of Euro being back. Got asked about Ruben Amorim, stuff about Malacia, Maguire, Shaw, and typically with the European press conferences, I feel like there's more time and there's more questions and there's more stuff to dive into. So a big chunk of it's going to be discussing everything about that. Some stuff in there about PAOK as a team, some stuff in there about Rasmus Hojlund, sends a message to him, and then the bits of transfer news in about Goretzka, about a potential striker, and a sporting player in Giovanni Quenda. Or Kendo, however you pronounce it, which, I mean, some people might call it absolute nonsense, but we're here to discuss all the news circulating around Manchester United at the moment, plus anything that breaks whilst I'm currently live. So please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're just joining. And yeah, let's dive into it. So the press conference held today, a couple of hours ago, asked about Euro. Took part in training, but then went on to do his individual sessions. And he also asked why Marcus was doing individual sessions. Was there anything in that? And he was like, no, basically it was just a little bit of extra work. So these little bits and pieces that you've seen of Marcus is good, I suppose. I mean, what more can you do other than just work hard on and off the pitch? So he's doing everything he can, which is nice to hear. It's nice to see. I actually don't think Marcus Rashford has been that bad, to be fair, the past couple of weeks. I think he's had all right performances. It's not to the level where it was at the start of the season where we're like, he's having another stinker this year, innit? He's working hard. He's getting back to it. So no qualms with that situation at the moment. In terms of injuries and stuff like that, he said Malacia out with the group of players. So I think he got asked about Shaw, Maguire, and a couple others. And he said Malacia is actually the furthest along at the moment in terms of that rehabilitation. They're thinking about chucking him in a under-21s game first, which would be logical. You're not going to chuck him in, even a game like Thursday where you probably will have the majority of the possession. There'll be the odd counter-attack or odd set piece that you've got to deal with. Even that might be a little bit risky to, considering how long he's been out for. So you need to introduce it in like volumes almost. So under 21s, 10 minutes in a Europa League game, give him half a game potentially, and then that's how Ten Hag used to do it. And just in general, I think it's logical in it. You do not want to rush this man back and then he's out for another long extended period because he's been out for ages. And God knows as well how much that's going to take off him mentally, physically. I mean, physically, he looks probably the most in-shape player. He's absolutely ripped. He looked like he's been eating Annabelle and Weetabix for his breakfast. So that's not a concern. But I'm just saying, like, being out for that long, it does take its toll. And I know it was a different situation, but Greenwood, he was out for, what, 18 months, was it, I think? And obviously he's killing it in Marseille at the moment and scoring goals left, right, centre. So, like I said, isolated different situations. But in terms of how long he was out for, yeah, Malacia, I'm interested to see how he gets back. And who knows, with Amorim coming in, he might even fit that wing-back system. Malacia might be really good at it because he is an aggressive full-back. He's relatively quick. He's not bad on the ball. So someone to keep an eye on, I think. But with Luke Shaw still working in rehab, with Harry Maguire still working in rehab, I mean, they've not got an alcohol problem or anything like that. They're just, rehab training. So, yeah, that's the latest on the players. He was being asked if he spoke to Ruben Amorim, which I don't get why he keeps getting asked this question. It's just dead weird. Have you spoke to him yet? Has he told you to play his tactics? These kind of, like, childish questions. Like, why on earth are you asking? Like, just let him come in, let him have a chat, and then, they'll go forward and they'll move together. Ruud goes on to basically say that he's doing the manager the best favour so that the transitional period is easier for when Amorim does come in. It seems like we've got a bit of an upturn in form, beating Leicester and drawing against Chelsea on the weekend. I mean, it's better than what we've been doing. We lost to West Ham, we lost 3-0 to Spurs, we lost 3-0 to Liverpool under Ten Hag, so it's a bit of an improvement, which you would expect given the usual kind of manager bounce. He then got asked about creating chances, and I think it was Beth from the United Stand who said, like, are you worried that you're not, supplying the striker enough? And he actually went back against that, and he's like, we are creating enough chances. We're one of the best in the league at creating chances. It's the conversion that I'm worried about, which is absolutely spot on. But yeah, obviously it's an issue. He spoke about Rasmus. He says he needs to stay calm, needs to believe himself, and I'm confident he will go on and he will score goals and do a big thing. Now, when I did the afternoon show, this afternoon, funnily enough. I said I feel like Rasmus is a bit of a raw Gyökeres. And people might say that's a lazy comparison, but I'm talking like channel running, physical. I see similar assets in Gyökeres' game, but Gyökeres looks more well-rounded and more polished than Rasmus does. And maybe that will come with time, because he still is only 21 years old. He came to Manchester United when he was, he's young. He's had one full season. He had a period where he was banging him in left, right, centre. He's only scored one so far, I think, this season. So naturally, yeah, it is a concern. I think the majority of the Chelsea game, he was just tussling with centre-backs, wasn't he? But I think there is potential there. There is a good player in there. I fully believe that, and I think he will come good. It's just a matter of time. And maybe it'll be Ruud Van Nistelrooy to get that out of him. Who knows? On PAOK, he said second in the Greek League, experienced players. They've got 4,000 fans travelling, which obviously will make an atmosphere. And it's true, because I remember the Cyprian team coming to us in the Europa League. It was Ammonia, I think it was. And I remember walking into Old Trafford and hearing their away fans, and I was like, fuck it now. This lot have turned up like there. Because you got to think, when is it they get trips to Old Trafford? It's rare. It's rare. And they're going from watching a quality standard, with all due respect, the Greek League, week in, week out in their country. And now it's like you get to go to England, Manchester, the Old Trafford, one of the biggest clubs on the planet. A night the way we're playing at the minute, probably a night you'll never forget. So I reckon tickets are probably going like that for him, and that'll be a huge night for them, huge occasion. And I expect a tough game. No, I don't expect a tough game. He was saying I expect a tough game. And judging how Porto went, FC Twente, Fenerbahce, it could be another draw. It could be another struggle for us. But you would expect Man United to get us over the line in that one, wouldn't you? So look. I wouldn't say Ruud's feeling the pressure in this one. I feel like he should get a comfortable result if the players turn up, but that's a $1 million question in itself. On Andre Onana, he got asked why it didn't work out for Erik ten Hag. Give a proper Andre Onana answer. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. We didn't win enough games. High level football isn't easy, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. He didn't say those words. I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines with that. And it makes you think, doesn't it, when a manager wants to bring in a player so badly, and then that manager leaves, how close and connected are those players with Ten Hag then? Do you know what I mean? Like, so if Ten Hag goes to another club now, are they loyal to United, or would they happily go move and push for a move like Anthony did at Ajax? I mean, Anthony can push for as much as a move as he wants. To be fair, we'll probably let him go. But I'm just saying, yeah, how close is that connection, and how loyal are players in that regard? Like, I don't know where Ten Hag's going to go to next. I imagine somewhere in Europe. I have no idea. He's obviously going to have a bit of time off. But then if he comes calling and he wants Anthony and Lisandro, are you going to say no? I don't know. Onana, I'm happy to keep at the moment, though. And likewise, Lisandro Martinez. If you want to take Anthony, sweet. I'm trying to think of other players that he's brought in that I'm not really... I don't know. And there's probably a couple of others, but I can't think off the top of my head. Onana also got asked, likewise, with Ruud Van Nistelrooy, if he watched the Sporting game. Ruud Van Nistelrooy said no. Onana said, yeah, impressed. He said the players in our squad right now are capable of playing that system. We're very pragmatic, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, I'm sure all the players were watching it last night. I said this again on the afternoon show, that I feel like there was... You're going to, aren't you? If you're a United player in Sporting Lisbon are on, and you know that's your next manager, I guarantee it, majority of United players were watching that, trying to get an inkling to how he plays, trying to get a bit of and I'm sure some of like Bruno and Dallo already know his game anyway. But yeah, I feel like the viewing figures for City's game last night, I don't know if they'll get reported or not, but I imagine it was one of the biggest viewing games, simply because all the United fans were tuned in. So yeah, you're welcome, Man City. Take that one. And yeah, look, just on Onana, I'm happy for him, because the first 6 months he really struggled, didn't he, at United? Like, really, really struggled. And the mistakes that he made, especially in Europe, against Galatasaray, Copenhagen, Bayern Munich, just shockers. And at that moment when I think it was the second Ziyech free kick went in, I said, I'm done with this keeper. I am done with this keeper. I can't watch him anymore. He's making clanger after clanger. We can see we're losing games solely because of him. The reason why we had such a catastrophic Champions League campaign was because of him. he needs to go. And then, in fairness to him, he's bounced back. Very emotional at the time, very knee-jerk. I get it, but fans are knee-jerk and emotional, you know, sue us. And he's done well. He's done really well. He's probably been one of our better players this season. Him, Christian Eriksen, Johnny Evans. I mean, you're clutching at straws, really. Mazraoui. I think those four in particular probably been our better players. So, yeah, I'm happy with Onana in a minute, and long may it continue. Right, how are we all feeling, people in the chat? Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Mark Palmer saying, sorry if it's been said, what were your thoughts on Sporting versus City? Yeah, I thought first 20, 30 minutes, Man City were all over him, suffocated the life out of him, kept getting turnovers in their half, didn't punish him. And sometimes in Europe, when you don't punish a team, you will get punished yourself. And I think Amarin probably went in at half-time, probably looked at him and said, lads, that is the best they've got. They've given us everything there, and it's only 1-0. We can still bring this back. As long as you're on the front foot, pack out the middle a little bit more, we can go at these guys. Because we have hit him on the counter a couple of times. Obviously, Gyökeres fluffed his chance, didn't he, when he tried chipping it. Didn't make the same mistake twice, which is a sign of a good striker, and punished him. And, yeah, you got to say with Man City in the moment, conceding 4 goals to Sporting Lisbon is mad. Is mad. And to lose 3 in a row for Man City, which is like the first time they've done it, I think, since 2017, I believe. It's unheard of. Unheard of. Bournemouth, Spurs, and Sporting. Very interesting. So, yeah, I was celebrating like it was the United game yesterday. I was buzzing for Gyökeres, buzzing for Amarin. And it just gives you that little bit of extra confidence and boost on it ahead of him coming in. Because you knew, I said this at the time as well, you knew that all the drafts were already written from journalists and like saying, oh, Pep's got his number already and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm just happy, of course, that for Sporting, for Amarin, and for Sporting Sam, who we had on the show on Monday. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the Sporting game. Right, moving into transfer news. This is from Florian Plettenberg, who's put a couple of pieces out. He's saying Manchester United are in search of a number 8, a central midfielder, and Leon Goretzka's situation is still being closely monitored. However, as of now, he still has no plans to leave Bayern Munich in January. So a bit of a nothing piece. But Goretzka, for me, I don't know how you guys feel. I don't know if you watch him at all, like, consistently. Goretzka, for me, it just doesn't fly my... what's the correct terminology to use? Doesn't float me boat. Let's just call it that. Isn't the sugar in me tea. I think he's just because he's jacked and he's a bit ripped and people just think he's a beast. If you watch him on a technical front for Bayern Munich or for Germany, in that regard, he isn't as good. I think he's a hyped FIFA player, Goretzka. I really, really do. He gets caught in possession quite a lot. Yeah, I just don't know. They don't sell it for me. I'm like, whenever you hear Bayern Munich get rid of a player, different with Mazraoui and De Ligt because there's still potential in there. And obviously you've seen Mazraoui, the impact that he's had, and De Ligt looks like he's starting to come good as well. So they're fine, but if it's like, but he can't, struggling at Bayern, they want to get rid of him. What wages is he going to ask for? It just does not float my boat at all, that situation. So Goretzka, I wouldn't personally go in for. I think it's interesting they're saying that they need number 8. I mean, Florian Plettenberg also said United are looking to sign an affordable striker in January. I don't know what the fuck that means, an affordable striker. So what, Choupo-Moting from fucking Sydney or wherever he is at the minute? What does affordable striker mean? And apparently you want a left back as well. So how much money are we spending? Are you going to go get Goretzka, a left back and a striker in January? Not a fucking chance. Never, ever, ever, ever will happen. Especially the way our finances are at the moment. And especially if we're not going to be in Europe next season. There is no way they're spending that amount of money in January, so you can put that to a halt straight off the bat. We've had Luckhurst reporting today that United are also tracking the Sporting winger Giovanni Guenda. United have been following Guenda's progress since the start of the season. Portuguese sources have linked this talent and work ethic to Arsenal winger Bukayo Saka. That's another one where, when you've got a link like Amarin and Sporting, and it's like Man United, Sporting, and then you've seen instantly after the Sporting game, links to Gyökeres, links to Guenda, a couple of links to Trincao. It's just, they always do it. It's farming engagement for certain players. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense, basically. It's bollocks. So, yeah, the Goretzka story, not having. The striker, I mean, I don't know what striker you go and get. It's pointless, I think, going to get. You've got Xerxes and Hojlund. If you're going to get an affordable striker in January, who's realistically going to come in and have an impact on this team? You know what I mean? I don't get it. Like, are you going to go get an Igalo type? Are you going to go get someone like that? Are you just basically shitting money doing that? I think you are. So I think some of them are nonsense stories, but we'll just have to wait and see how those develop. Because, you know, January, to be fair, is only around the corner. We're on the 6th of November today. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 weeks before the winter window opens. So, yeah, I think if you're going to look at priorities, go get a fucking left back, for the love of God. Go get a left back. I don't get why they didn't get a left back in the summer. When they signed Mason Mount at the time, everyone was asking for a striker. Get your priorities in check. You know, we don't know how Malacia is going to react when he comes back into the team. We know Luke Shaw's just going to be back and then not back and then back and then back again and then always got a calf injury, always had a setback. So you can't hang your hat on him. We need a left-footed left back, please. You know, I know Region didn't light up the house when he came in, but he was still all right. He was still relatively decent, and you saw the difference just having a more natural left-footed player there. I think Majari's done phenomenal there. I think Dallow's been questionable at times. They've done a job there, but you need a proper left-back. And I'm not expecting them to go and buy Robinson from Fulham or Gutierrez from Girona or anyone like that. But you need to bring someone in, man. You need to bring someone. Who that is, I don't know. I don't know what the free market's like at the minute in terms of loans and other players. I have no idea. So, hopefully they've done a due diligence. They might have been looking at a couple of experienced players. I've seen players like Marcus Alonso be linked with us before, and I'm just like, no chance. I mean, maybe it'll be more likely if Amorim comes in and he brings Alonso in that wing-back system, but as a pure just left-back in the back four, nada. So, yeah. Very quiet show today. I'm not sure why, but listen, people might be watching this later. I don't care if there's 2 viewers, 10 viewers, 20 viewers, 1 million viewers. I will still be the same thing. Same person, sorry, same message, same news stories. Giving you content every single day, relentless regardless, until the end of my time. So, yeah, short and sweet tonight. Let us know your thoughts and feelings. Leave some comments for us. Smash like on the video, and I will see you